You'd never guess, Ada's mouth turned out to be the best drink dispenser. Rani just realized that Ada's cause of death was so unique. He dashed out immediately, trying to stop this comedy. But of course, the crew's speed was faster than the actors, and Rani was just a step behind. And just like that, the dynamic duo pounced on him, pinning him down. Rani struggled like he was in a real-life escape room, but ultimately got tied up. Finally, Rani wriggled out of his bindings and crawled up like an eel, only to see another version of himself coming towards him. The other Rani saw Adi was a goner and rushed off to have a theory session with that big dum-dum. Without hesitation, Rani shouted at the team to bring back the experimental equipment. All he wanted was to go back and stop this leak fest. However, the team was now divided on this decision. I think we need to hold another meeting about this. Chris demanded 5 minutes to think, while the buyer cornered him, fuming, demanding they continue the experiment. Chris firmly refused. We've already succeeded. Why keep going? Now Rani's life has been utterly messed up by us. Additionally, we've created multiple towers along the timeline, and the number of NPCs is significantly increased. So, Rani can't be a regular hamburger in this parallel universe, he said angrily. What are you talking about? Chris frowned. What does this even mean? It means all events will race back to the starting line. Yep, things just got complicated, didn't they? So, she will also come back here from that particular time period to chat and steal our stuff. Yoon didn't care at all, casually mentioning that Rani is still alive, probably off with a travel agency. See? It's not a big deal, as everyone around laughed, not even realizing time was just rewritten. They won't know timelines behave like a lost dog, changing paths randomly. Well, if things changed, what could the impact be? Anyone not from the original timeline will see us. I'm cool with that. So you're afraid that the timeline won't come back, right? Yep. Chris and Yoon's disagreements became clearer, feeling like they were in a psychological battle. Chris questioned, is this experiment really worth continuing, especially after we've written Rani's fate? Yoon shrugged it off. Everyone's life is unpredictable. Even time travelers can't guarantee anything. It's like stepping in dog poop. The overall concept is greater than individual poops. Chris insisted, I just want to help Rani. But this is merely a trivial cost in the experiment. After heavy rain comes a rainbow. Yoon said, this discovery's impact surpasses all technology, one of humanity's greatest breakthroughs. This tech will reshape technology, he said seriously, allowing us a chance to control time. And he's just a regular villager, lost a life. He chuckled. Chris was shocked and said, are you really serious? Yoon loved profit, completely unaware of the real risks that tech could bring. Success in experiments comes with a cost, and Rani is just a mere sacrifice. Once Chris gets rich, he won't remember today's dilemma, he said smugly. But Chris disagreed, standing firm, and Yoon lost patience, shifting to other options. He ceased to argue with Chris and allowed the assistant, named Sayohei, to make the decision, saying, it's no big deal to send Rani back the one more time. Yoon didn't care about Chris' attitude, seeing Chris' hesitation as typical for an entrepreneur. He believed true success is push tech progression at all costs, while Chris hesitated at the most critical moment. Even those makers with grand aspirations ultimately fail because of indecision. He knew if Chris held back now, it would cost them the chance to change the world. Faced with this accusation, Chris still stood his ground, even getting the assistant to help him bow out of the argument. This time machine is my creation, my decision. He stormed off as the assistant began operating the machine. Finally, he activated the time travel device, sending Rani back to an earlier timeline. The assistant decided to follow along, thinking, I have to help Rani. Can I really let him face this alone? As the other Rani and Adi hadn't returned yet, Rani quickly dashed to the car, pulling out cash and stuffing it inside. Then he poured out the liquor from the bottle, but the assistant shook his head. "This money doesn't belong here. It won't stick around." Soon another vehicle arrived, and Rani recalled what happened, no longer willing to flee. He ran up to stop the car, fearing he might miss out on a gourmet meal. He yanked open the door and yanked out the poison bottle, feeling like he caught a ghost in the act. The brother immediately rushed up to grab Rani, with everyone getting entangled in the chaos, attempting to take control. "Wait, I'm here to help too." The brother hurriedly got out, but immediately slipped, giving the assistant the perfect chance to strike. Subtitles. If you really enjoyed this story, make sure not to forget to like it and subscribe.